Here's your host, Alex Garrett.
Stunning news today as word came down that at about 4 o'clock today, the 9/11 Tribute Museum would be closed for good. That's right. All the artifacts that were donated, that were sent to this city with love to remember the horrific attack of 9/11. Well, apparently this pandemic has done a real number. And Alex Garrett Podcasting, this is a huge problem. Because to have one leg up in the world and one leg up as a city, you remember the horror. You don't just close up shop after the pandemic produced dismal numbers for this museum that holds a lot of memories, a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, right? We don't just throw all that away. And to have one leg up, I did not expect to talk about this today. It's my first real episode of One Leg Up with Alex Garrett, but here we go. To have one leg up, we honor what the hell happened that day, that it was a terrorist attack. We remember the 3,000 American lives that were lost that day. We do. That's why the 9/11 Tribute Museum exists. And someone that wants to keep this up, keep this memory alive for even those that didn't even know, that weren't even born, that have to learn this in school. He has an insight as a maintenance guy at the 9/11 Tribute Museum for 9 years. Tribute Museum is closing after being here for quite a while. In fact, I've got one of the long-standing veterans, Nelson, here, who was here for 9 years of the museum. I know you've got a lot of emotions today.
Yes, I do have a lot of emotions. This museum, this 9/11 Tribute Museum, was created by family members and survivors. The president of this museum, he's a retired firefighter. His son was killed that day. That's why this museum represents has a lot of emotions, a lot of personal stories. We have volunteers. These volunteers that come in, they're firefighters, police officers, first responders, construction workers, neighbors. They come in and they tell their stories, their personal stories. And not only is it therapeutic for the people to hear, but it's also therapeutic for them. Okay, these stories you hear, they're not from a script, from a video. They're actually something that occurred, that they have a personal tie to. So this museum closing today it's such a dreadful.
Did you lose anybody in 9/11?
No, I didn't. But just knowing,
sure,
and hearing and working here and meeting the survivors, the police officers that were there, it has such an impact. I listen to the story every day, 9 years, listening to the same story.
Let me ask you this: what was it like giving tours? You gave tours.
No,
obviously.
I'm the maintenance worker here.
Oh, maintenance. Okay.
I'm the maintenance worker here, but I have so much basic knowledge of what goes on here. It's unbelievable. That question you just asked me, a lot of visitors ask me, what is it you do here? Because I stopped giving them insight of what goes on what happened. And when I told them I'm the maintenance worker, they can't believe it. They thought I was a guide or a tour guide.
But in 9 years, what have you heard? Tell us some impactful.
Oh, wow. The volunteers that lost loved ones, that lost friends, that lost brothers. We have the president of this museum. He's a retired firefighter. His son was killed that day. Okay? He's a very humble man. At first, he had so much hate. Because 343 firefighters were killed. Close to 3,000 people were killed. And from that day to today, close to 3,000 people have died from related illnesses. He's such a humble man. He talks about how much hate he had. But then he noticed that we can't fight hate with hate. We have to have compassion. We gotta let the young ones know that you don't win fighting hate with hate. We got to draw the line somewhere. And by us acting like the terrorists, we're not as good as them.
Well, let me ask you this. Is this a black eye on the city for this closing?
Yes, it is.
I think so, too.
Yes, it is. Remember, there's a lot of people that weren't born that day. They have no idea, they have no knowledge of what transpired. But if we keep this alive, this will go on. And we try to make sure history don't repeat itself.
Exactly.
So here we are.
Nelson, I got to ask you this. They have all those stories. They have the televisions repeating. When you go through the halls of this building, you must feel chills every time. For 9 years. Yes. Some people tell me how this is something you don't get used to. This is something you deal with. Let me tell you, I get to hear a volunteer story every single day. And people, you must say, it's like watching a movie. After 2 or 3 times, you go, oh, I already know what's going to happen. But do you know that when you hear this story, that it's like from the inside out, it just gets to you every time because the emotion of what they went through, the loved ones they lost, the neighbors, the co-workers. So it's a sad day. Take care, my brother. Yeah. Take care.
Yes.
Well, this has been a hell of a time for 9/11 families because last year the Afghanistan pullout.
Exactly.
Now this, 20 years later, it's not really getting any better, it seems like.
No.
And this is another addition to the worstness.
Hey, there's a saying that you hear it on the news, on logos, on T-shirts. We will never forget. Guess what? We just been abandoned. We just been abandoned. Okay? Just keep that in mind. We will never forget. Guess what? We're getting forgotten. And this was a terrorist attack. We didn't ask for this. This was something that was done and something that should never, ever repeat itself, but at the same token, something that should never be forgotten.
You're obviously a city resident through and through like I am. I've been here all my life. I'm sure you have too.
I've seen you. Yes.
So, and I see you were in the Marines. So as a military background, this must have affected you.
Yeah, military, being in the military, I was law enforcement. Everything it's like everything's just falling apart. It's like all this technology, we're going 1 foot forward, 2 steps back. But the bottom
technology is making us forget, by the way.
Exactly. Today I got on the train and I was just observing everyone. I was the only one on the train that had visual contact with everybody because everybody's on their phone. They're not aware of their surroundings. They don't have that social contact, like good morning, hey, how you doing? Something. It's just, I know
unfortunately, they're also teaching a different curriculum now about this attack, and I think that's also a shame. Like, why are we teaching kids what, the falseness of it? They need to be taught the reality of this.
The reality, what really happened. Exactly. With people that were actually there, the true stories, not from
a professor,
from a magazine, not from a newspaper, a guy that got it from a source. People that were actually there.
And we see kids passing by right now. They have no clue.
They have no clue. It's a shame.
And now, how will you work to preserve what this museum means to the city, to the nation, honestly, to the world? Because this museum, we got O'Hara's, we've got the fire department. All of this has shown we are fucking resilient.
That's right.
And so how do we keep that resiliency without something physically here?
We got the resources, the money is there. I know we have education is very important. We need money for that. We need people that are going hungry. We need people that need a roof over their head. That's fine and dandy. But like I said, this attack on our nation, we didn't ask for this. It was such a negative,
I'm hearing Governor Hochul is to blame for this? Like, is there some...
Listen, you can't point fingers. All we can do is right now now we have people from the news, politicians. Where were they 2 or 3 years ago when we needed them? Everybody knew. Somebody had an idea what was going on. Okay, we may need a miracle. We're asking for a miracle. A miracle does happen. I'm a God-fearing man. But right now,
But where's the media, by the way? I'm not even seeing them around
No,
here.
they're
in there?
Yeah, they're in there. I've been to the Tribune like 4 times.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's
they're around,
important.
but it's like
It just seems this comes late notice too. Just on Monday it dropped.
It's like coming to a fire with the building is burned down. You're too late. You're too late, and it's just a sad place. I was getting an interview and my tears came out, and you know what? I wasn't ashamed of that because that's the kind of emotion I have. I'm really, really. This place means so much to me.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Let it out.
People keep telling me, "Oh, what are you going to do now? That you're not going to have a job." I'm not even worried about that.
It's what this.
It's just what this place means,
And there's been popes in here. There have been historical figures here to grace their presence to honor this.
Right.
Okay. And we're forgetting all of that.
We forget it. It's just. I don't know.
Presidents have come through here. Okay.
The money is there. The resources. Don't let this die. You can't. You got people that lost families, loved ones. Come on.
I'm hoping Tunnels to Towers does something about this because they are huge. By the way, they saved the light. They saved the beams, and that was a big deal.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if just a little too late, and I don't know who we could reach out to. Our doors are closing. They shouldn't have been. The pandemic was another negative, groundbreaking barrier for us.
But to your point, there are a lot of people in this building, in this museum, that want to preserve the history. They work here to preserve the history. What do they do? And by the way, why are they sending everything to Albany? It should say right in this city, right here.
Exactly. It's just we have a lot of artifacts that were we borrowed a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff was donated. A lot of stuff, we want to give it to someone that can try to keep the memory going. Yeah.
Well, Nelson, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
sir.
God bless you.
God bless you.
I hope you can keep getting the word out, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And there you have it. There you have it. Lord, if Governor Hochul can hear this, if leaders can hear this, save the 9/11 Tribute Museum. There will be tours for those already paid for, but for others, we don't want to make it too late. And we might just have done that with these lockdowns, the financial stress, the burden, 30,000 square feet of memory down the tubes of honoring lost Americans, 3,000 of them, of honoring the brave men and women, the first responders, the New York Fire Department, New York Police Department, down the tubes? I don't think so. There's got to be a way to do this and do it right. I'm Alex Garrett. Let's stay one leg up on history, on the love of New York City, and the love of America. Damn it. Have a great night.